The European Central Bank recently attempted to quash rumours that it would target certain interest rate thresholds as part of a bond buying programme. Now today I'm joined by Martin van Vliet, Senior Economist at ING in Amsterdam, to discuss this with him. First of all, Martin, why did the ECB want to put a stop to these speculations?
I think they wanted to prevent market expectations from spinning out of control because, well, markets were running ahead of themselves, I would say. I think it will be one of the options that will be discussed at the September meeting of the ECB. But, I mean, given the stiff opposition of the Bundesbank, it may not be the most likely option, in my view, at the current juncture.
The euro rose as a result of these expectations. What type of action do you expect the ECB to take over the next few weeks, and how will this affect the performance of the euro?
Well, my guess is that they will buy shorter-dated bonds, as Draghi has said, but only of the countries that have applied or will apply for help from the EFSF or the ESM. Because Draghi has made it clear that the support of the ECB will remain conditional. So I would not expect them to set caps on yields or spread or specify the amounts they will buy, but I think they will want to keep their hands free. So in my view, there's some scope for disappointment in September, and I think that might weaken the euro somewhat. And in longer term, I think a weaker euro is necessary for a sustained Eurozone recovery. So I'm quite cautious on the euro, so to speak.
Yesterday, Spanish government bond yields dropped as markets focused on prospects of the ECB purchasing debt to contain the country's borrowing costs. How do you predict Spanish bonds to perform over the next few weeks?
I mean, we have seen a very sharp rally in Spanish, especially short-dated bonds, and it could extend somewhat in the near term. But you have to understand that the declining yields is sort of in anticipation of ECB action, and in the end, I think Spain has to formally apply for help first before the ECB steps in. So both Spain and the ECB have to deliver to make this a sustainable rally. So I think we've seen most of the declining yields.
German government bonds increased this morning. How has the rumour affected these bonds, and what else is impacting their performance?
Bond prices are up somewhat. I think it also reflects some caution about the global economy. We've seen some weaker than expected Japanese trade data. The fact that German bond prices are up might also reflect some skepticism, as I also highlight about the yield or the spread cap rumor. But what's also interesting is that German two-year yields, they are no longer in negative territory. So you could say that the fears of a euro breakup have indeed receded somewhat after Draghi's comments. So that's an interesting development.
And what is your short and long-term outlook for government bonds within the eurozone?
Although we may not go back to the record highs in peripheral yields we have seen over the past couple of months, I think a renewed spread widening between the core and the periphery seems likely in my view. I've also made it clear that I think that markets have been running ahead a bit of themselves. So I think there's some scope for disappointment. So I think yield spreads may widen again in the near term. But maybe, just maybe, we have seen the worst.
And finally, what else do you expect from the ECB?
What's also interesting, obviously, is how Draghi will address the seniority issue. I think that there were two main elements in his statement in August, and it's first the support for government bonds, but secondly, he will address the seniority issue, and I think that's still a very open question. But we'll know more about that, I think, in September. They will provide clarity on that, and I think it's also linked to what's going on in Greece. I mean, there are some negotiations going on now. The Troika will be in Greece in September, and the IMF have made it very clear that probably there has to be some debt restructuring to make the debt sustainable. So maybe the ECB can take a haircut on its Greek bonds and hence address the seniority issue. But I think that will be something we'll learn in the next couple of weeks.
Thank you, Martin, and thank you for watching Dukascopy TV. If you enjoyed this interview, then do stay tuned for more like it. But for now, goodbye.